Merry Christmas, everybody. It's Cecily, and I wanted to share something that I saw. There's a lot of speculation on Diddy possibly being on a hunger strike because of his noticeable weight loss. A lot of people that have been in the courtroom have commented on the weight loss, and it was something that was remarked on from the very beginning. But I haven't seen anyone really go into it. I think this person's perspective is notable. The rumors that he was on a hunger strike was early on, and it may be because he might be fearful that the food will be poisoned, right? People said it's astonishing. He looks nothing like himself. But his representatives have said, there's no hunger strike. They haven't confirmed it. They haven't denied it. And they say that he's fit and healthy and very focused on his defense. But the fear of being poisoned may be the issue.
It's like on the inside of Larry LaVine. He spent 10 years in federal prison, 10 holiday seasons, and now runs Wall Street Prison Consultants. His brand new book is Crimes That Never Happened, Beating Federal Conspiracies, which is available on Amazon and everywhere. And he's live with me now. Hey, Larry, it's great to see you. Happy holidays to you. I'm glad you chose the festive backdrop. Thank you for that. I want to ask you about refusing meals. Diddy is apparently refusing meals. I don't know if it's all of them, but he's refusing some of them, and he's been reportedly looking a lot thinner. Why would that be?
Maybe he doesn't like the cuisine, or maybe now that he's actually in a dormitory unit, he's not living in his cell. Well, he's living in the cell, but he's not in there all day long. Now he can buy items at the commissary, and because of that, he may be making his own food. He probably has access to a microwave oven, or maybe like boiling hot water, and they make burritos and different things. He doesn't want to eat the prison food, I suppose, because he's scared somebody's going to put something in it. I've said this before. That's the way to get to this guy. Poison his food, turn him off like a light switch, and he can't testify against anyone.
That's so distressing to think that someone has to worry about their food being poisoned because of the kind of case they're in. But ever since Jeffrey Epstein, everybody has every theory, left, right, and center. What about the goodie bags? I talked to two guys earlier in the show who said they never got anything when they were in lockup. Okay. But you've had that. You've gotten stuff in lockup.
I was at 11 different federal prisons. A couple of them were contract facilities, but they were still federal institutions. Every BOP facility I was ever at, we got a holiday bag. It's like a big plastic bag loaded with this garbage in it, like 2 days before
Hold it
Christmas.
up higher. Wait, hold it up a little bit higher, because we got a banner on the bottom of the screen. I want everyone to see it. What's that?
This is pretzels. This is
like it says,
like peanut butter crackers. Here we got some cookies. I mean, there's all kinds of garbage. And the BOP plays a game with this. They have a trust fund that they take money away from the inmates, or they make a profit on for selling commissary throughout the year. They act like they give you this gift bag, which is complete BS. That money that the gift bag is supplied, it comes from the trust fund. So the inmates are essentially paying for their own gift bag. Now, the ironic thing is, and I did a whole bunch of Christmases in the BOP, the bag shrinks and gets smaller every year.
What else was in it? I saw those three things. Like, what else would be in a goodie bag for the ones that do get it?
We've got some nuts. We've got the pretzels. We've got corn nuts. We've got a knockoff candy bar I've never heard of before. Here's some potato chips. Here's the cookies again. I mean, there's like 7 or 8 items in there. Some of them are garbage, but the inmates use this as currency. They trade among each other, and the inmates use it when they're playing cards to pay off, their gambling debts and such. So I've had really good holidays.
What's interesting, though, is you said, when we were talking earlier, you said they get like a bag of chips or a bag of pretzels, but they don't get name brand. They get very inexpensive. And then they mark them up 30%, and that's the trust fund that they put together. The profits go to a trust fund to pay for the goodie bags later on in the year.
Well, it's like the shrink. There's certain employees of the Bureau of Prisons that the trust fund pays for. So essentially, the inmates are paying for the salaries of BOP staff members. It's crazy. And then when the inmates want things, they say, well, we don't have money for that. They used to hand out holiday cards for the inmates, but it turns out they were charging us for them, and the Salvation Army donated those. So everything you hear and see is a hoax. It's all a hoax. They lie to the inmates.
I feel bad.
They take advantage of us.
People like to crap all over inmates and say to hell with them, they're in there for a reason. But I think they're doing their time, and it's hard to be in there. So I don't think they need to have any additional, punishment. I'm all for giving them a little bit of a break now and again. Larry LaVine, happy holidays to you. Thank you for that beautiful backdrop. Thanks for watching. Go to join.
I completely agree. You're doing your time, or you're waiting for your due process. The level of suffering I can't imagine, right? The layers on top of layers, I'm sure, are gut-wrenching. And if there are certain days and holidays where people are expected to have just a little bit of a break, right? Then let it be that. But going back to Diddy's weight loss, I think it's clear that he is definitely restricting his intake. One thing that people are not considering is that, he did mention that he had an alcohol problem at one point. He mentioned this. Diddy mentioned this himself, being that, he's not consuming as much alcohol. And trust me, there's a lot of people that are overweight just because of alcohol. If they were to remove those empty calories, liquid calories, a lot of calories for people who entertain a lot, you will appear visibly slimmer, you'll lose weight, and the inflammation in your body goes down. So I think that personally, if anyone was curious about what I thought, I think it's twofold. I think he is probably mindful about what he's eating, because you're right, you can get poisoned, if not from the, everyone that doesn't want to mention, wants you to mention their name, to like homie that just thinks it might be kind of cool if he was the one behind the extermination of said person, right? But also the fact that you don't have the same access to items that you had before, drugs, alcohol, what have you, just the spoils of a wealthy lifestyle. And maybe even just focusing more on your fitness, or going more internal. There's a lot of people that go into these situations and become healthier, become more in tune with self. They learn how to meditate. They connect with their particular gods. They become more spiritual. There's a lot at stake. There's a lot of heavy hitters on the Diddy freak off list. So sure, I think the potential for someone snuffing you out is absolutely there. You have a lot of people's futures in your hands, and your future is on the line. So with that being said, I do think it's, multiple reasons. I think paranoia and fear is there. I think that, feeling like you might have a target on your back might also put you in a state where you're not just hungry. The poor quality of food is bland. And do you really want to eat that stuff? They even say that some of the food has mold in it, it's crazy. But if, his team is saying that he's focusing on being fit and healthy and focused on his defense, he's had to wean himself from those substances and become, fully focused on what he's dealing with. Calling it a hunger strike, I think, is undermining the situation. And unless you've been in that situation, you really don't know what you're going through. Now, speaking of him as a human being, some things I'd like to just draw parallels to, because I did read Kim Porter's unofficial diary, and I found a lot of that stuff felt true to me. I'm not telling you how to feel, and I'm also not here to debate it with you. But I think it's ironic. In the book, there were mentions of people who lost their lives due to poisonings alleged by this individual. And I just think it's interesting. One saying comes to mind. Definitely comes to mind. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. I'm always curious of people who always talk about poisonings and poisonings and poisonings. You should always be mindful of who you're dealing with, what you put in your body. I think the people that are most concerned about things being done to them are the people that did things to other people. Those are just my thoughts, my personal thoughts, all alleged, nothing proven here. Well, it is what it is, right? With that being said, I hope you have a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa. I don't know if Hanukkah's over, but whatever it is that you are celebrating, I hope it's a celebration to remember.